which is a collaborative effort written and compiled with the help of the entire Theater 4 class. It reflects a lot of all of our personalities, and we kind of hyped up certain aspects of trying to make it a little bit more theatrical, so we hope you guys enjoy it. And
this is who we are. All right.
The Drama Club.
Really?
Yeah, okay, guess what?
Bring, bring.
Reading moral values serve this country.
Are you kidding me?
Is that you, God?
No, but you should still fear my wrath. Which one of you changed the background on my computer to that cat again?
Josh, over there.
I am so sick of this. One of you better own up to it. Who was it? Kayla? Or you, Gabe?
Where is this voice coming from? How is this even possible?
Great. Now I have to go talk to the office about fixing my computer, and I just don't understand.
You know, Miss Morgan, you don't have to do that. You can just change the...
Hey, Josh, I don't need your help. Now, while I'm in the office, I want each of you to write a monologue. That's what you get for messing with my computer. No complaining. No one leaves until they're complete.
Hey guys, what are we doing? Remember, you know it's like 20 minutes after lunch. I was monitoring the halls. Did Hank buy that? What do you think?
Yeah, we tried something like that once, only we told him we were battling bears.
And saving kittens. He didn't believe us.
Well, I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
How can you be done? She signed it like 4 seconds ago.
I don't know. I'm done.
I don't believe you. Read it.
What?
Read it out for the rest of us to hear.
Guys, if he doesn't want to read it, you can shut up, Josh. I'll read it. Have we always had a spotlight in the middle of the room?
So, I took theater class this year. I really liked it. I took it though, because you can be anyone when you're in a play. You can be someone who's brave, dashing, handsome, has lots of friends. Now, I don't own up to some of those qualities. Sure, I had a good time this year. It's my senior year. But I'm not really that awesome. I'm not a prince. I'm not a warrior. I live in Alabama. But I mean, while you're in theater, you play so many characters. And yet, at the end of the day, you still have to be yourself. Wow. That was moving.
I thought it was a really deep moment. It reminds me
So anyways, does anyone have anything else? I need an idea.
Well, I was kind of thinking about writing this monologue about a girl, and she's driving down the road with some of her friends, and then she accidentally cuts her finger off. But I think it might be too graphic.
Well, doesn't hurt that bad.
Whoa. Ooh.
It's really no big deal. I was just vacationing in Brazil at my rich uncle's house. He had one of those huge houses, you know, More importantly, stable. Well, everything except for this rickety little table in the kitchen. Every morning, I had breakfast on that table. One morning, I woke up before sunrise and rushed there, dreaming of chocolate chip pancakes. Well, no one was there, and since I was a stupid boy, I fell asleep on that table. And well then, I fell, and it fell on my hand. I lost my finger that day. You know, I still didn't get those pancakes.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, I don't remember that. Did you go to school here in kindergarten?
Well, actually,
I don't remember anything from kindergarten. Actually, I don't remember a whole lot before high school now that I think about it. Well, except for 9/11.
That's what you remember from elementary school? A terrorist attack? You sound surprised.
Well, I mean, it was kind of a big day, right? I was living in Thomasville at the time, and I was in the 2nd grade when the first plane hit the World Trade Center. The teachers were acting all crazy, and I didn't understand what was going on. I just thought they were insane, you know, hormones. Of course, I kind of still think that, but at least I can see where they're coming from.
Well, that was horribly depressing.
Well, I mean, I kind of had a different take on it than the rest of the country. I saw it through the eyes of an innocent 2nd grader. I kind of think that's kind of interesting. Nobody can understand the horrors of the stuff I saw that day.
Yeah, except for everyone else in this room. We were all in 2nd grade too.
Well, we remember it, but it wasn't as relevant to all of our lives, I guess. I remember my baptism more than that.
I didn't know you were religious.
That's not why I remember it. See, when I was 4, I had a big afro full of curls. Whether it was the grocery store or the park, people would always comment on how I looked like Shirley Temple or how cute I was. Therefore, I became somewhat of a cocky 4-year-old. That hasn't changed much. Anyways, I thought I was the finest toddler to stride the pre-K playground. And when I got baptized, my pastor brought back holy water from Jerusalem, and everyone decided to get baptized that day. And so when I finally got up there and they poured the water on my head, I stood up in front of the entire congregation and asked, "Does everyone think I'm cute?" And luckily, for my parents' sake and my ego, I guess, they all laughed.
You having an ego, I never would have thought.
Well, I think that's a cute memory.
Hey, wait, who stole my pencil?
Josh.
Okay, really, if you touch my bag, I will kill you.
Josh, give me my pencil back.
Oh,
Give it.
I've had this pencil the whole time.
Josh, seriously, just give her the pencil back.
It's my pencil.
Josh!
Fine.
What's so funny?
His monologue. He wrote it about when he was a little kid.
Well, remembering Josh talking about their childhoods and made me think of one.
Well, let's hear it. I'll have some crap about a girl with a psycho brother.
Oh, I lost it. What'd you do?
Oh,
Give
fun.
you your papers back.
Are you kidding?
Sorry.
It was a 1-paragraph assignment.
Wow, you're
Really?
so unorganized.
Well, so, it was the 2nd grade, and we were presenting.
Hey, more emotion.
So, it was the 2nd grade.
In all seriousness, though, how long has that spotlight been in the middle of
That's true. Sit down. So it was the 2nd grade, and we were presenting projects. I was dressed like Benjamin Franklin, and I had done so much research, I could have written a book on it. It was almost my turn to go up and present, but I kept working because I was determined to make it perfect. Lucius Guthrie was presenting. Of course, I wasn't paying attention. I mean, Benjamin Franklin is way cooler than Thomas Jefferson. So anyways, while I was working, everyone got all noisy all of a sudden, and then fell completely silent. I looked up and realized Lucius was no longer in the classroom. My teacher was standing in front of the classroom. She said, "Guys, I don't want a single person talk about this today. If I hear anyone talk about this during recess or lunch, you will go to the office." I thought, well, that's weird. Miss Woodard's the nicest lady in the whole world. And all of a sudden she sounded kind of serious. But whatever. It was finally my turn to go up. and I was sure everyone was going to love my project. But they didn't. They all were still silent, and it looked like there was something wrong with everyone. I was just going to ignore it, but it stuck in my brain all day. I had to ask someone. So when recess came around, I worked up the courage to ask one of my friends. I said, guys, what the heck happened to Lucius today? They got all serious and said, Miss Woodard says we're not supposed to talk about it.
Oh, no.
And
That's it.
so you never found out what happened?
Oh, I found out yesterday. Lucius peed his pants.
Oh, hey. I found my pencil.
All right. I got it. I wrote a poem.
A poem.
Yeah, monologue can be a poem, can it?
Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you William Shakespeare. This should be good.
What are you waiting for?
What? No, Mike.
My childhood memories still seem clear, as almost if they were still here. The Three Stooges and Franklin were TV programs way back when. An innocence lost in the child of today. Modern computer games are all they play. In our time, hopscotch, trikes. But in this world, tower system and gigabytes. My clock in the hallway softly chimes. A great farewell to those great times.
That's supposed to remind me of Three Blind Mice.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Is Martin would mind if I wrote my home and childhood memory too?
Oh, well, that depends. Does it involve baptisms, terrorist attacks, Benjamin Franklin, or anything else?
No?
Good, because that would be way too cliche. Go ahead.
Well, it's kind of serious. I don't know if it's
Come on, it really can't be that bad. We just heard about a kid peeing his pants.
All right. Growing up, everyone thinks their father is invincible. Up until the time I was about 7, I literally thought my dad was Superman. He was super strong, and he could lift me up like he was lifting air. And he was so tall that all the trees envied him. He would live forever, and he was the coolest man in the entire world. I was so lucky to have him for my daddy. Then one day, everything suddenly changed. We were on our way to the beach, and I was so excited because we were going down for the 4th of July. We had just gone out to dinner, and my dad had to pull over because he was feeling sick. My mom was talking to us, and we were all excited. And I looked out, and I saw my dad laying there on the ground. I remember being so confused. Silly Daddy, why would he do that? Why would you just lay down there by this brick building in the middle of nowhere? I looked at my mom and said, Mommy, why is Daddy laying on the ground? To this day, I remember the haunting innocence in my voice. Mom rushed from the car, and she went out to check on Dad. I remember shaking so hard as I heard the panic in her voice while she dialed 911. We all got out of the car to wait with Dad until the ambulance arrived. I remember I was so scared. I just wanted to know what was going on. What was wrong with Daddy? When the paramedics got there, I hid behind the building. I couldn't watch my daddy like that. To this day, that day burns brightly in my mind. And it's like I'm there again. daddy was a human.
Yeah, mine's crap.
What did ever happen to your dad, Emma? Did he make it? Yeah, he's with you now. It's just one of those things that stays with you, you know? I know what you mean. I have one kind like that.
I remember waking up and knowing right away that something was wrong. I heard my mom talking to my brother in the next room over, and her voice, it sounded different. I walked out of my bedroom and asked her what was wrong. She had just told me to get ready for school, so I asked her again. She took a deep breath and told me Granny passed away this morning. I didn't know what to do. I mean, it couldn't be true. She couldn't just be gone like that. I went in my room and just sat on my bed. I had so much going through my head. I didn't feel anything, though. It was just like I was numb, no emotions. I guess I was just in shock. Next thing I knew, I was on the way to school. I didn't say much that day. I just kept to myself. And then fourth period rolled around, which was volleyball. We were running stairs. Then all of a sudden, so many emotions came over me. Grief, anger, confusion. I cracked. It was the first time I was able to really feel anything all day, and it broke me. I couldn't do it anymore. Tears just started coming down my face, and they wouldn't stop. I couldn't go through the rest of the day like that, so I called my mom to come and get me. I had nightmares after that about Granny. They were of me and her having a great time, only to wake up to the realization that she's gone and she's not coming back.
You know, it's sad when you realize how mortal you are. I didn't even think of death as a thing when I was little. I'm pretty sure I just thought old people went to some retirement cruise or storks took them to party on Cloud 9 or something.
Yeah, and also though, I was the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. I destroyed every single antique your mother never wanted you to touch.
Nah, weren't those the days. Before braces or lockers or classroom changes or minimum wage jobs or college applications. Before stress. Before stress, I was a child sitting in the living room of my old house. We had just finished watching the animated film Balto, and the stars were out. It's this movie about a half dog, half wolf that is sent on a mission to find some cure for these sick kids in his hometown. Anyways, the scene that sticks out to me like a sore thumb, though, is when Balto walks in on this sad-looking guy building these oddly shaped boxes out of wood. They were rectangular, and they had the corners of one end cut off. They had crosses on the front, too. I asked my dad what these odd things were, and he told me they were coffins. I asked what a coffin was, and he told me it's where you put dead people inside of. I asked what a dead person was, and in so many words, my father then proceeded to tell me what death was. Needless to say, as a child who had just learned of his own mortality, I was terrified. Instead of being afraid of the dark, I became afraid of literally dying. It became my greatest fear. Only recently have I come to terms with that, and I've never really been the same since. But the reason why I'm discussing this traumatic time in my life, this tragic loss of my innocence, is to justly illustrate with resounding contempt one thing. Balto sucks!
Well, I didn't see that coming.
He sounded about as innocent as I was, except I stayed that way longer.
Oh yeah, I remember you from freshman year, Anna. You were seriously one of the most innocent people I'd ever met.
Is that what you wrote your monologue about?
That is what I wrote my monologue about. Can we hear it again? Yes. Oh, another person. I was still a child when I first entered high school. I heard most of the people I talked to in conversation say, "Don't explain to Anna, we don't want to ruin her innocence." And that bothered me some, but all it did was bother me. I wasn't determined to learn, but I did. I grew up regardless. Freshman year was my biggest growing up year. I never had a real boyfriend. I never said a bad word. I never hung out with more than just my best friend at the time. I never really been hurt by anyone, but that's because there are few I surrounded myself with to get hurt by. To this day, I wish I could go back to that 8th grade girl, that small me, and say, this is what's going to happen.
Don't talk to this person, or this person, because all they're going to do is hurt you. Don't ever go here and don't ever say this. Don't ever agree to this and always do this. Never go here and never talk to them. Don't ever regret it, because if you do, you'll be hurt and you won't understand why it had to happen to you. But then, not everything's your fault. And what is, I know you'll learn from it. Never mind, just know that after all the sorrow you'll feel better. You'll be me, and I'll be proud of you. You'll leave high school, and despite it all, you'll be glad you came. You'll know that it'll make you the better person that you are today.
Oh, I really related to that, Anna. I love the part where you were talking to
David and neighbors, separate.
She's in the middle of the room.
So it seems I have accidentally locked myself out of my classroom again, so it'll be a little bit longer before you present your monologues. But they better be complete when I get back.
Jeez, the woman caught us holding hands one time in the hallway, and now she's convinced we're snogging in the back row. It's a British term. You should really get on my level and watch Skins, then we'll talk.
Hey, yeah, speaking of skins, do you guys remember our last Halloween party at Anna's house?
Oh yeah. I remember that. It's where you were walking around in that terrible British accent. You should be guillotined for how bad that was.
Aren't guillotines a French thing?
You shut up right now!
I remember we sent all the little kids to bed, and the real party started after they went to sleep. We turned off the black lights and turned on a strobe light instead.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember we glowed in the dark, and we sent all the little kids to sleep, and in the dark, with only the black lights on, dancing in the strobe lights, we looked like stop motion animation. It was so cool. And Nirvana was kind of our theme song. There was like fog in the background, and it just, our night really did end like an episode of Skins. We were dancing like leaves in the wind, even though, we don't have rhythm. And Emma was kind of doing her own thing, and Anna was swinging around that baby she named after a car. And it was all so awesome, the love, the costumes. I don't know, my heart kind of broke when I fell away from you guys that night, And I just kind of rode out of the car and into bed, and I was just like, wow, this was a perfect night. It was all of us together. And if my life were a TV series, I would have had the credits rolling on that episode. It's really, it was so cute.
You remember my party?
I really.
Well, since all of you wrote your monologues about stuff that already happened, let's switch it up a bit. Let's talk about the emotions.
Oh, sure, let's hear it. I mean, I'm sure it'll make me feel even better about my blank piece of paper.
Aw, we have such bright futures ahead of us. I'd love to hear next.
Well, people always ask me, why would anyone want to be a neurosurgeon? Was it for the money? No, not everyone does a job for the money, and I'm certainly not a person who does. Well, ever since I was a little girl, I always knew I wanted to be